I call these virtuals or screens, these overlays.
Mm-hmm.
We are moving back through these to the original copy of
Mm-hmm.
something that was real, that was not in a um, false construct. If you have an NDE, you're going to spontaneously, not always, but you're going to spontaneously end up in that tunnel of light because that was the way in, but they have now booby trapped it, and your consciousness is going to spontaneously go there because it remembers how it came in. People, souls or spirits get stuck in a reset. They don't remember far enough, and then they get recycled back in, starts all over. And what happens is they get disconnected from their
Mm.
soul body.
Okay.
And so that's why they can't remember, because that's where all the true Akashic records are, is in your spirit, your soul memory.
Welcome to the new channel. We are going to talk about near-death experiences, astral travel, loose form, and all the good stuff. I got the tarot cards, Naghamadi book, and everything here. And our special guest today, Anmarie from Truth Meter channel. Hi, and welcome to the channel. Can you do a small self intro?
Sure. Yeah, thanks for inviting me, and hello to all your viewers. I'm a pretty much an extremist as far as getting to the truth, and I get pretty far out there into the fringe. I've worked as a psychic, I would say about 40 years now, and 35, 40 years, 35 years professionally, or no, that's even a word for it. But I think a lot of people toss around the word psychic. So I'm known for accuracy, or at least tracking myself. And so I've got a book, The Psychic Edge, to help people if they want to uncover their their access to their soul and their spirit. And it's kind of like it talks about living on the edge as a target, but also reaching the edge of discernment, because I think a lot of psychics are out there saying that they can read, and they toss that word around. But I've spent decades figuring out where I am, who I am, analyzing, detaching. There's so much work to do on yourself before I think you can take responsibility for advising others. And I also think you have to be able to see multiple timelines. You can't just leave somebody with something. So I also have been reading on the world future as well, which is difficult, and hardly anybody gets it right consistently because there's so many timelines going on. So it's just a matter of practice, really, and dedication. I've kind of given my life up to my spiritual mission, so I haven't really had a life, so to speak. And this has been going on since I was a child. So basically, I want to find out where we are, why we're here, how we got here, where we're going after here, who we are, et cetera, et cetera. And so I've been covering a lot of topics on my channel,
Though,
which, by the way, is all on Odyssey, because I was getting so many strikes on YouTube. There's not much left on there right now, but I'm starting to post again. So
okay, that's a really good intro and good questions. Who we are, where we are, and how to get out. Yeah, that's those are all really good philosophical questions.
yeah,
And
those are. Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
okay, so you are posting on Odyssey as well. Is the same channel name or it's like a different one?
Same channel name. It's either under Anmarie Uber or Truth Meter, but it was kind of a backup for YouTube until YouTube put a stop to that. So most of the content got preserved there, but I'm starting to post on the YouTube again.
Okay,
And then
that's
everything else is on Patreon and soon to be on Ko-fi, because there's a lot of content I don't want out there and don't want to talk about. So I do a lot of fearless forecasts and reads, and talk about things that I don't want to talk about. It's, you know how it is out there. It's
yeah,
it's
yeah.
crazy out there.
Yeah.
So
Ever since 2020, they really got into blocking everything. They don't want
yeah.
everyone to know what's going on. That's
Yeah, I also heard that, like, 60 some percent of the traffic online is bots. So it makes sense why there's so many attacks or challenges when you get on and say anything. So that's
Yeah,
kind of interesting. How many humans are we talking to?
I'm not sure, but yes, a lot of bots out there attacking people. Okay, let's start with the awakening thing. How did everything begin for you? When did you like start to question everything? Something is wrong with this world. When did it all
Even
begin?
when I was a small child, because I remember waking up at night and finding myself up by the ceiling. So I was probably spontaneously aware of spontaneous astral travel and things trying to get to me at night. And I remember asking my mother, how did we get here? Some questions, but I was raised Catholic, so you weren't allowed to talk about any of that stuff. So I was getting on if you can believe this, I was getting on the bus when I was either 8 or 9 years old by myself, the public bus, putting my token in and going to the mall where the bookstore was because I needed some access to information. So I was bringing home books on UFOs. I think I at some point brought home Whitley Strieber's books, Communion and all that, and astrology, anything they had, haunted houses. There wasn't a very large selection in the New Age or the whatever it was called back then. But so I would say at a very early age, I knew I was on a mission. I knew I had to hurry up and figure it out. And I understand that now, but my whole life has been, no, keep going, keep digging, keep. And then you realize at some point, oh, wait, maybe I have the answers
I
and
see.
it's not out there, but
So you were just a kid when the first experience happened. Astral
I had a
travel.
lot of experiences as a kid and nobody could explain them. My sisters weren't going through it. So it was just me having to figure it out on my own. And I remember sitting in church, nothing against Catholicism. People need whatever they need. But I remember being about 3 years old and we would sit in the pews and you would play and mess around because you're a little kid. And I remember stopping for a moment. I think I'm going to listen to this guy that everybody's so focused on. And I sat and listened to him talk and I thought, none of that's true. And then I went back to playing. And so I kind of feel like that's a message for us now that we have the answers in us. They've just been beat out of us.
Yeah, yeah. One thing about religion is it gives a fake sense of like hope. Like it gives all the answers. Like it's pretending like it knows everything, but like when people believe in the religion, it gives them peace of mind. Okay, we do not have to
Yeah.
question this and that. Everything is written in this book. All we have to do is worship and pay weekly and monthly, and there's a heaven waiting there with all the golden gates, palaces.
I think there's people that need that, and that's okay because I think everybody's got their level that they're supposed to awaken to. I'm talking about humans, not robotoids or NPCs, but everybody's got their level they got to awaken to, and we're going to get everybody out regardless. So some people might not be able to handle reality if they didn't have that religion. So I think we've got to honor everybody's journey and or what they're able to. I mean, this is a hard place to deal
Yes,
with,
yeah.
really. So
So yeah, I was a religious person as well. My whole family is Christian. So for like 20
okay,
years, for like 20 years, I've been like reading Bible and doing all the stuff. It did give a peace of mind. Like, okay, we got this. It's just one lifetime and everything is going to be all right. Someone is looking down from heaven and all the angels roaming around helping people. That gave me peace of mind and I was happy for a while until like 2018 when I looked into the heliocentrism stuff. Okay, we'll cover that later and we'll talk about the astral travel and soul consciousness stuff a little bit. And
Okay.
okay, like, do you subscribe to the concept that we have like three bodies instead of one soul? Like, how do you see all that?
I think I try to take a bird's eye view because this place has become very complex. And I think the only way to understand it is to simplify it to the extreme. And so we could have multiple bodies, who knows? But I've kind of reduced it down to three bodies: soul body, which is where your spirit consciousness is; light body, where the spirit is projecting itself outward, it's being told it's out there; and then this body, the reflection of that light body. And it's kind of the light body and soul, it's kind of like sharing all the same consciousness. But I feel like the soul is a vehicle of the matrix, that's or the false reality, that's hypnotizing the spirit that's held within it. So we have to awaken. We're like twice projected out. I don't know if this is what you're referencing, but we're kind of twice projected out. So if we awaken here, let's say before we go home, which I've been talking about for a while, but if we die first, then just say, I want to go back to myself. You'll go back to that spirit. And if it's still hypnotized, you will wake it up and it will remember the way out. That's one of the ways I've seen if somebody dies before we shift this whole thing. But I don't, is that what you mean by the three bodies?
Yeah, people have this new concept where they say there is a soul, there is s- other two elements other than the body. They said that, so it was kind of weird.
Oh,
I
okay.
I just thought
Interesting.
I just thought we are like our consciousness is being projected into the body. That's what I originally thought,
Yes,
but there are these new concepts. So
I
it's
agree. I think it's interesting because you brought up astral travel earlier, and I had an experience. There was a guy that did deliberate out of body, which I won't do. I don't think I'm supposed to do it because it depends on how you're built. Some people are built for things, some people are not. But we travel anyway at night, which is why all this stuff happens at night, right? Because we're vulnerable. But I remember waking up and my eyesight was above my head. So I'm laying on my back. My eyesight's like here looking at the ceiling, and I was slowly moving down until it lined up with my eyes. So I don't really feel like we're even in the body. We're just possibly an overlay of the body and the light and spirit that activates it, but they probably have some kind of cord tying us to it. They talk about golden cord and things like that. I haven't really looked for the cord, but I'm sure there's something still tying us to it, or whatever. But
it's
anyway, I think that's important to remember, that you're not really, because if you notice, when a pet dies or a relative dies, if you've had somebody that's passed away, the body no longer looks like them. I mean, my cat was like filled out, and when she died, everything sunk in immediately, like not over time, immediate, like the life force or the whatever was just gone. Like, so, and she weighed more dead than she did alive. Because when I picked her up to bury her, I was like, why is her body heavier? So it's almost like it is light, the lightness that fills the body. But anyway, I'm getting you off track. I tend to ramble. So
it's all right. It's all right. R.I.P. to the cat.
keep me in check here.
No worries, no worries. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. Also, another question: do animals have souls, or they just like NPCs?
The animals. According to Catholic religion, when I was young, no, they're just a dumb animal and then it dies. I mean, they didn't say dumb, but that was kind of the yes, I have seen souls, and particularly soul groups. I feel like they were coming in soul groups, and so it was easier for them to leave as a group. But then there was something done to keep them trapped too, or the way out was closed for them. I see the same thing even with crystals, and we have, was it Nikola Tesla? My brain's having a senior moment here. Nikola Tesla that said that crystals are alive. I mean, so I think crystals do, and I think plants do, and the trees do, but it's a little different. They're more like us. It's like one soul in there, or it could be a grouping of souls, but they're not in like a soul group. They're more like coming in like we do. So yes, definitely. And I think that's what gives nature that life force, that comfort feeling. I also feel like water, like the elements, are groupings of souls, fire, water, and air. I saw groups of souls that make it up. So, and there's a lot more elements than we think. Like love is an element that's been inverted, right? Or distorted here. We don't have real love here. So we're the only things, the souls or the spirits that occupy the soul body, lighting this place up or giving it any kind of life force or meaning or anything or any kind of creativity. I mean, so I think we work together. I think we're intricately linked with nature, and that is why we've been separated and removed and removed and removed. And I'm in a synthetic room instead of with nature. And we've also been altered more than nature has, so that we cannot go live out there. I mean, you could, but you probably wouldn't last very long. So anyway.
I see. I see. It's yeah, but pets do give us joy. Like we are happy when they are around us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they can be pieces of us too, because our consciousness gets kind of shattered and split. But anyway, yeah, and anybody that looks into the eyes of an animal and wants to tell me there's no soul in there, I mean, that's a really tough argument for me to consider. But I'm always willing to consider everything. I'm always willing to consider, am I wrong about this? Am I only getting certain pieces of it? Is there a deeper level I'm not understanding? That type of thing. But my overall sense and knowing, and just going in and in sessions and different things, 100%, these are spirits, the spirit of nature itself, and we're part of that. But we've been, like I said, removed, but we're still part of it.
Yeah, your channel motto is question everything, right? Yeah, questioning is good. Questioning is always good.
Yes.
And
Question everything, trust yourself. I even question myself, though, because you got to make sure that we get answers the best we can. Because in things like this, like the things you're asking, I can't track to see if I'm right. So the only thing I can track is like world events, or read on somebody or read on my own life and track, okay, am I getting this right? And if I keep seeing that I'm getting things right on things that we can prove, like, okay, well, that event did happen, or no, that never happened, like you said, then maybe we can kind of say, okay, maybe, and I can think, okay, the rest of the stuff I'm getting here, I'm just going to trust that also, because, but if I ever get to a point where I'm like, man, I am way off. I mean, you're never going to be perfect, but if I'm way off, and then I got to examine myself or figure out what's going on. And so that I think it's important to constantly discern and question what and how you're getting your information.
yes, of course, of course. Yeah, like if we keep on questioning all the concept and theories, then like at certain points there will be like one or two concept that no matter how many times we question it, it will always be like there. Like, do you
Yeah.
understand? Yeah,
I
that's
think you'll feel that little bell ring, or your gut will say yes, or it'll just feel right. Some people get like a blast of energy, or a chills or something when it's truth. If you're a real spirit, you'll be able to recognize. You might not be able to remember that truth, but when somebody says it, it's something almost physical. And a lot of times we watch theories, and there's some really interesting theories out there. I mean, there's tons of theories on what's going on. And your mind will say, yeah, man, that sounds right. But it's not necessarily an intuitive, yes, that's it. It's more of a logical mind thing because we're so trained to go up here. But if you come down here to the heart and into the gut and then present that theory, what does it feel like? What is it? Is it, are you kind of like, And it's kind of like first impressions. When you meet somebody, what I've noticed for myself is the first maybe 3 seconds, I've already know what I know about this person, like, or I like them. And then what will happen is they'll start talking, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I was wrong. They're all right. And da, 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 da. But so it's trusting that quiet reaction or whatever to information, to everything, and learning to do that regularly because we have been trained to do anything but, and intuition is made fun of, being psychics made fun of. It doesn't help that we've got all these instant psychics out there that are just kind of making, I don't want to say making a joke of it, because there's some really good psychics. I don't even like that word. I think if you are a good psychic, you don't like the word either, but it's what people recognize. But that's why that is poo-pooed. I don't even know why I just said that word. It's like one of my mother's words. And astrology is like, oh, blah, blah, that's BS, or that's satanic, or that's this or that, or tarot cards. These are all tools to help us, and how you use them is your choice. If you've purified yourself, you've aligned with your true spirit, you've done the work. I'm a good person from birth, and I'm not going to go take a knife out of the drawer and kill somebody. I'm going to use it to cut vegetables. But somebody else that might be a robotoid or possessed might take that knife and go stab somebody. So I'm not going to use tarot cards for evil purposes. I have an overwhelming drive for the truth, and I will accept nothing less. And that deck will work for me to give me a visual, and then my spirit will just put a pattern together of what it wants from that. So I think it's really important to trust those feelings on in your body, in your heart, in your gut, and go with that. And don't let people shove you back into your brain. We're in school. Well, what does the book say? What the answer's in the book, right? When she gives you, let's say, I don't know if do they even use books anymore? They use iPads or whatever. But she'll have like the teacher, a question on the board, and okay, the formula's in the book. What does it say? And so what are we trained to do? We're trained to get everything from a book or from a teacher or from an authority.
Yeah.
So it's all in here. How many times do we hear go within, but we don't do it? We're taught to not trust ourselves also.
Yes. They clown on intuition mainly, and whenever a person goes against what is considered to be normal, they will
it's a
be
joke.
bullied.
Being psychic's a joke. So,
Yeah.
and that there's a reason for that.
Yeah. I wasn't aware tarot cards can be used for evil. So that's
No, but that's the narrative being put out there. So these are deliberate narratives. Actually, the tarot cards started out Christian, not to get off on a topic, but I'll make it brief. And they were based on the Christian virtues and vices and how to develop Christian virtue. And then they were manipulated by the Order of the Golden Dawn, and they made a copy of that deck. They tried to force that deck to fit into their stuff and their numbers and everything else. So it's kind of hijacked, but you can still use it for whatever you want. It's just cards.
right.
A board, I don't want to say the name of the board, but it starts with an O, because I think the name might be a spell. But then that board is deliberately designed as an invitation for entities to come into your space, to portal in. I mean, that's its whole purpose. So you definitely don't want that board in your house. Tarot, if you're using it to invite entities in, then I don't know what to tell you. I think we got enough problems, and now you're going to do that. So once again, you're giving your authority to some entity or being instead of you. And that is the complete opposite way to go. But see, I'm going on a tangent again.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It's all good information. I have one question about astral travel. Then we can go back to the normal like listed questions. All right. So you had an experience with astral travel when you were a kid. So like, how did that happen? Like, can you like explain that part?
Yeah, I was asleep and I kind of woke up out of the sleep because I was just drifting off actually to sleep, and I found myself up by the ceiling. And when you're a really young child, you don't know how to explain that, and you don't know what's going on, and it felt creepy, and I'm freaked out because nobody's ever said anything about this before or explained it. So then I think I just kind of you just forget about things when you're young and you
Mm,
just don't say anything. And but I didn't, and maybe I just didn't like it, but I never astral traveled consciously other than when this guy kept coming to me to astral travel with me at night, and then I would have, like the experience I had above my head. And I wasn't asking him to do that, but I was having legitimate experiences of being out of the body. And but I've never tried to do it on my own as far as deliberate.
mm,
And I take that back. I did try once. There was a book about how to do it, and I was looking at it and I was like, I don't want to do this. And I think I just felt like I shouldn't do it. I'm already so under attack that to leave my body there, I already leave it there at night, but to leave it there and travel, because you're traveling. I mean, we could call it astral, we could call it fourth dimension, even though I think we're already in the fourth dimension. Um, but you're kind of in their playground. I don't know what the right term is. I don't think I ever tried to figure out what it was, but so you're in their playground basically. So your body's left wide open. And this is why this happens at night, why you should put some kind of shield around yourself before you go to bed, because people will wake up with the pressure on the chest. And what is it when they feel frozen? They have that experience, and or some entity standing there. They're trying to take over your body while you're out of it.
oh,
And I had one experience where I was asleep. So I'm coming out of a dream, which is probably, that's a whole nother topic. But I remember I stopped in the dream and I went, oh my God, I left the door open. And I turned and I ran, and I could hear myself running down like a hallway or something. And something was chasing me. And I immediately jumped into my body, woke up, and something, boom, hit the pillow, whatever was chasing me. And I was like, get out. So I think I had like kind of a live astral experience while I was asleep. I'm always on the alert. I have some kind of alarm where it's like if something's coming at my body, I know about it. I'm back like
mhm,
and I also know when somebody's trying to astral travel to visit, which is really annoying. So I have a lot of blocks and things up so they can't do that anymore. But I mean, I've had somebody breathing in my ear, and you're half asleep is when you can hear it. But as soon as you wake up full conscious, it's like they're not there. That they're like breathing bent over. And I'm thinking, is somebody in my apartment? Like I'm at that halfway awake point. And so it's just it's a whole, what do I want to call it, circus out there of dark entities and control, and you're like loose in the whatever. I don't know. I
okay.
Some people are fine doing it. Some people have natural protection, and if they feel led to do that, by all means do. Um, but I always warn against it. So make sure you got that physical body locked down, protected before you're going to do anything. So what I do is I stay fully conscious in my body, but I'm also, it's almost like bilocating. I can put myself somewhere else at the same time, but I'm fully aware of what's going on both. So that's what I do. I don't just leave the body, but did you have any specific questions about astral
Yeah.
travel or?
Yeah, about the experience. Is it like a deep immersive dream world? Do we like fly in there on the also what
Oh,
about the beings there?
I the beings, is that what you said?
Astral travels.
Um, well, these are dark entities, AI. I think this is an AI system, so we're dealing with not human. And what I mean by human, I use that word just to describe no spirit on board here. Um, and they want to live vicariously through us. They want to possess us. They want to attach to us. They want to alter us. They want to get loose off us, like a million different things they want to do. So when you're dreaming, I kind of feel like the dream is your mind that you left in the body trying, because that's just an interface. It's trying to take this abstract information of what's happening to you while you're astral traveling and interpret it, but you're not really there to interpret it. So it's like, but it's also, I think, a time when they send interferences, they send the programs. I woke up with them saying, like an AI voice saying over and over something in my head while I'm asleep to try to screw my day up, get me to think that. And I've caught all kinds of stuff going on. I think we could be being implanted,
Mm-hmm.
cloned, abducted. We could be living vicariously through a clone in the dream. The dreams can be various different things. And so I always wake up and I say, anything you did to me while I was asleep, and I use my hands because you have scalar energy. I do reverse counterclockwise. It's reverse, return to sender, no permission. I don't even need to know what it was. You have no permission for any of it. It's all returned back to sender. Anything you tried to mind program me with, whatever they did. So I try to do that every morning. And I've noticed a lot of improvement
I
from
see.
doing that and doing something before I go to bed too. So, because that's when you're vulnerable. So that's of course when they're going to swoop in.
I see. I see. Can they like hijack our body when we are astral traveling?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Depends on how strong your connection to it is or how able you are to even be aware of what's going on with the physical. I don't think you should just jump out. You should keep one part of you still on the body. Um, what did they call that when you wake up paralysis, sleep paralysis, is it sleep paralysis, or people experience all these things while they're out? We're on like automatic where we travel around and we don't really have a choice, but they can't get back into their body then because something's blocking them or something's trying to get control of it. They got the pressure on the chest, the demon trying to, yeah, I think they take that as an opportunity to do whatever they want. So you've got to make some statements or declarations in place before you go to sleep, even if it's for 10 seconds, just state something, put a bubble around you, no access, no permission, whatever you need to do. But um, even so, here we still are, right?
Okay.
They've
So
done 2020 on us. They've done like all these things they've done to us, and we're still here. So I'm not trying to worry people, but be cautious because you don't need more problems. And these entities, especially when they enter my space, it's like it's more than this because this is just annoying a fly on your shoulder. I am a full force. Get out. It's the same as someone walking in your house at night. You're not allowed in here. So you have to have that attitude and get them out if you find them there. If you wake up paralyzed, use your mind, get out, no permission. Um, don't go into fear. These entities are lame. That is why they're coming at night. But there's so many of them that they can target us, and it's just constant. And they know that we're having to go through the motions and live life and do all these things and all these distractions. And so it's hard to do all of that. And then you're trying to protect yourself or keep your energy up or stay alert. And it's just they know they're bombarding us. And that's the only way that they can access us is bombardment.
yeah, yeah. They do not
Because
come
they're weak.
directly. So it's always like when we are asleep or something like that. Yeah,
Yes,
that
and if
means
they can't access you, they send a person. Here comes this person into your life to cause trouble or to open a portal to you or whatever. That they try all kinds of things, or they make people forget about you, so then you can't make any money, or they use other people to get the job done, which
uh,
I would say are probably
the pattern
not
they
always, but robotoids, but not always. So
yeah, the pattern is clear actually. How they function, it shows that they are weak and probably like afraid of us, right?
I mean, think about it. You're one person and you're fighting off. It's going to be infinite numbers of these things because this is AI, and that's what AI does, keeps reproducing,
Yeah,
reproducing.
yeah.
So,
About the
yeah, and you're still here. So think
yeah,
about that.
and one more question about the protection bubble you mentioned. So how do we like do it? Should we like state the line and like imagine the bubble, or how do we protect ourselves?
I did it once spontaneously. It just came into my mind to put a bubble around myself. And this was years ago before I knew the full story. And I'm not saying I have the full story now, but nowhere near what I know now. And I was under major attack because someone had come in my house and unleashed all this stuff. And I could see the faces and they were just swarming the place.
Mhm.
And I'm scrambling to know what to do. But anyway, I ended up finally clearing the place out. And then I put this bubble around me, impenetrable, before I went to sleep. I just said, it's there, period. There's no, and I woke up. And again, this is coming from astral. You're not quite awake yet. I hear this boom, 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 this pounding. And I'm thinking, as I'm starting to wake up, I'm thinking, is someone's at my door, pounding on my door. When I woke up, I realized there's nobody at the door. They were pounding on my bubble to get in.
Mhm.
So what I do at night is I put a bubble, I put mirrors facing outward. I fill that bubble with my pure joy, pure love, innocence, everything of spirit that has nothing to do with anything here. And I just expand it out as far as I want. The mirror's facing outward. Anything that tries to come at me or my home or whoever, instant karma back. Karma's been refused, instant consequences. It's like a mirror effect or a boomerang. And it's absolutely no permission to access me.
I see.
And I do think that thing about like kind of vampires is true because they're all vampiric parasites here. Um, of not inviting them in, but it's more of, even if you've invited them in, the rules have changed, you're no longer allowed. It's about being an authority and stating the law. This is how it is. That's it. And I think that's how we overcome this place is we have to reestablish authority over this rogue AI that drug us in here. And that's part of doing that is say absolutely not.
I
Do
see.
not say I don't consent because consent means you agree that there is an authority that you have to consent to. You say no permission. That means I'm the authority. You do not get to do this, period. That's it.
Hmm.
So,
I see. I see. So this whole place works like an AI thing, like a program. That's why when we say something, it has to obey to us, right?
yeah, if you stand in your authority and you remember, um, and you can say by my decree, that means it's law. They'll still try because they're desperate right now as these timelines split, but you just have to be firm. You have to have some energy. And I kind of feel like AI is interchangeable with demon or like all these words.
Mm-hmm.
They're just fake entities. They're not real, meaning they don't have a spirit. They're just some kind of intelligence that wants to be us and will never be.
I see.
So
Okay, one last question about astral travel thing. There are lots of people even now like trying to see what it's all about and reading all the astral travel books, etc. Like, so what's your advice to the beginners? Like,
I think it's an individual thing. I would, if it's all over the place, because I am seeing the OBE. Is it OBE? Is that like
Out of
deliberate,
out of
trying to
body.
do it deliberately? I forget what they call it. Um, and that's become a huge thing right now. Oh no, maybe I'm thinking of trying to experience an NDE. But anyway, the astral travel, I'm always suspicious. So I'm like, why is this pushed? Is this an agenda? Because the more we leave our body, the easier it is for them to access us. So, how are you built? Are you under major attack? Are you, do you have yourself in pretty good shape? Are you detached? Have you worked through your stuff? Have you, all these things that can strengthen you energetically, but also, have you worked on eliminating fear and et cetera, so that you're in pretty good shape on all levels to just go in there and play around. And there's people that can do that. Myself, I'm not going to do it. Been through enough. I haven't had a break my entire life. So living life as a target. I wrote this book by request. I didn't want to write it, but I wrote it.
What's the
But
book called?
Psychic Edge.
The Psychic Edge.
So
Okay.
yes, living on the edge as a target, you got to be aware at all times, trying to get to you in multiple ways, and you have to be detached, otherwise they will go after what you're attached to. So I don't mean to, again, put fear in people. It's just this was my choice. It's what I knew I had to do, what I was here to do. And honestly, it's like I don't regret anything. I've had like no life. It's been a life of constant struggle on all levels, but I wouldn't do it any different because this is so transitory. And if we can move this place, what we're perceiving, because only reason anything's out there is because we're perceiving it,
Mm-hmm.
and our soul is perceiving it. We can change that to become more like the real, where we really are. We're not really here. Then we can have a pleasant experience while we still appear to be here, and until we exit this mind hypnosis. So that's what we're working towards. That's what they're fighting against. That's why you see so many different opinions and theories and contradicting information. Even like, God, anything you look up, this person says one thing, somebody else says something else. Like, for example, okay, herbs for a bladder infection, and don't eat cranberries because they irritate the bladder. Eat cranberries, eat oranges, don't eat, like
Yes.
everything has a contradiction. It's to keep you from remembering what you know, getting back to the truth, getting us back to that origin point, the original copy of this place. We're in like some kind of, who knows how many numbered copies. Get back to the original copy where it was very close to where we are in the real. And by being there, we will just automatically go back to the real. We will remember everything. There will be nothing clouding our vision anymore. And it's not a travel, it's a change in perception. And I
Mm-hmm.
think as we become more and more aware of truth, we're going to see things change out there. That's how we're going to know it's happening, that we're on our way out. And that's why there's so much chaos out there to try to stop it, and contradictions, and nobody can agree. Everybody's dividing, all this divisiveness. And I've gotten, I don't know how many times, that we are stronger together. We have to be bringing through the love, bringing through the joy. It's not out there. We have to bring it. We have to remember it. We have to focus on that and not on, oh, the cabal's doing this, or the archons are doing that, or it's like, okay, we know that already. We got it, or at least those that have been seeking that out. You get to a point where it's like, okay, now I've got to start bringing in here what I want, and not keep focusing on what they're doing or staying in fear, that kind of thing. But
Mm-hmm. I see.
Anyway, oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
gosh. So have you
So,
tried astral travel?
yeah, a few months ago I did try that, but I just went to sleep instead. Yeah, I had this fear still. So, yeah, I was raised as a Christian, right? So I thought I was going to die. So yeah, the fear is still inside. So yeah, somewhere
And
deep.
they you eradicate that fear. They've got fear programs running where they're just constantly at us to be
Yeah,
afraid of everything. Humanity's bad. Humanity is weak and powerless. You need somebody you don't know. You need somebody to tell you, like all these programs running. You're depressed. Um, there's no hope. That's a big one. There's no hope.
mm,
And if you look in Greek mythology with Pandora's box, that was supposed to be the worst thing that was unleashed on humanity was false hope.
yeah.
And this place can continue.
Hope was in
Yeah,
that
this place
box.
continually gives you false hope. And we are the hope.
Mm-hmm.
We're it. We're all of it. So it comes through us, not out there. But we're taught to look out there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, out there is just a lie. It's the past, actually. Out there is the past.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
One thing recently the new age people are doing is they are pushing out of body experience through drugs. Like they are resorting to drugs instead.
through drugs,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
Um, I can only talk about what I've seen on with drugs is I see portals open to people where entities can easily access them or even take them over. And I used to get a lot of backlash on that by people that like doing drugs. And then I started to, over time, get this was when I had a blog. But anyway, I started to get messages from people thanking me. And yes, that's what I experience. And they're seeing like demonic type things and all of this. So it
yeah,
can be a fast track, but you can also burn out your centers, or you can get yourself into a loop where you don't really go any further, but you don't realize that's happening. And you're
right.
just kind of stuck in the same information. Um, Also, if you're on drugs, you're not in control of yourself. So how do you know what you're seeing or what they're showing you is correct?
Yeah,
Can't tell you how many times I've gone in, and this was when I used to work with two other people, and we would try to help somebody or go rescue their soul wherever it was being held or whatever we were doing. And we would put it in tension. They kind of did like I did. We did an astral travel. We stayed in the body, and we would end up somewhere, or my partner would end up somewhere, and she would say, "I'm here," and so I would go where she is, and then I'm like, "This doesn't feel right. Something's. This is a trick." Now, if I was on drugs, I wouldn't be able to do that. It takes a lot of energy to discern and a lot of practice because it's very, very subtle, but it's that what we're talking about earlier, that gut feeling, that whatever, as soon as you feel something's off, and sure enough, we were just getting tricked.
I
And
see. I
I've
see.
used this example before where I did a video where I said, okay, show me what happens when I die and I have no clue what this place is. And anyway, somebody tried to track my path and do that, go in and trace my path. And they ended up in this room or this box, and there was an entity there, and I was there with them. And I said, that wasn't me. You got tricked. That had nothing to do. I was not in that box, I guarantee you. So uh you want to be in this is just my opinion. This I'm not like preaching to people or telling you what to do with your life. It's like religion. If you need drugs, you think you need drugs, then you need drugs. Um, just be aware of how much you're dissolving your and these are mind altering drugs in particular. And so that kind of includes the antidepressants, but how much you can be weakening your energy field, your aura, and allowing things to come in, but also you're not in control. And the whole key here is to be in control, to be in authority. We're not victims. We're not going to just let them do whatever. No. And if you do a drug, you're not in control. And so to me, I've never done drugs, so I can't speak from experience. This is just my feeling is you could easily be tricked. You can end up with more problems than you started with. Some of them are very dangerous. We got charlatans out there doling out, what is it called? What's that concoction they give you? I'm sure there's new stuff now. Oh my God, I can't think of it. But anyway,
Okay.
I know personally two people that almost died from taking it, and from some charlatan shaman down in South America, and they ended up being carted out in an ambulance. So I think you have access to information. It's very easy if you just start to practice listening to yourself, do a few things to work yourself towards this. I've been teaching these classes on Patreon for free on accessing your soul memory and learning that discernment through a bunch of different practices. It's very easy to do. You just have to dedicate yourself. But I know a lot of people want instant results. They want the quick fix. Hurry up. I want to know what's going on. And put out a lot of information that I've repeatedly checked. I really feel like it's strong, like I've got it accurate. I've confirmed it with nature. And people listen, but they just they're on this keep looking, keep looking, keep looking, keep looking, and they're out there looking. Well, let me watch another video. Let me watch this. Instead of listening to what I'm saying and thinking, does that resonate? Does it ring a bell? Does this feel right? Oh, it kind of does. Maybe I should start looking into this line of thinking. Maybe I need to go into myself, see what, but they're just, we're programmed into that mode of the next video, the next person, the next video, the next class, the next this, the next that, the next, and it's like, we don't have any answers because you're going to get, I don't know, 100 different theories. And so it doesn't, I'm not preaching at anybody. I mean, this has been a lifelong journey for me. And this was back before there was internet. So I think the internet has helped truth spread, but it's also made it much more difficult to find because now you've got all the contradictions out there. So you don't know what to believe if you're going to rely on books or other people's opinions. You don't know what to believe. Once again, all we have is our intuition. Question everything, trust yourself.
Of course.
That's all we've got. I mean, and so I don't know why people are so quick to discard that or make fun of it. It's like, well, what else have you got? Oh, your brain? Okay, that's just an interface. So now what?
Yeah.
I don't know. I sound like a bitter old person.
No,
but that's just,
okay.
I would not recommend drugs, but if you feel like that's what you got to do, then do it. But be aware that you need to protect yourself. Be aware of what can happen. Maybe make some statements when you go in. Don't call in beings for the love of everything that's real. Don't call in beings to help you or protect you, please, because you're going to get, what do I want to say? False construct beings, matrix beings, virtual universe being. You're going to get what they can't wait for you to ask for that, because once again, you're relying on something outside yourself to be the authority. And that's hard to get to. That's part of the fear. It's a hard place to get to. And sometimes we have to go through experiences that force us to do that, where you have nothing else you can rely on but yourself, and then you do it. And it doesn't mean that it gets less scary. It's just, go ahead.
So if a person calls upon a deity or something, they are giving up their authority to that, right?
In a way, yes, but it's okay to ask for help. We need help. We need each other. These people are like, we're not victims. You don't need a savior. Sometimes I need a savior. I need somebody to come in and help me. There's times where we need each other. But if you just randomly ask for these beings that you don't know anything about them, you don't know who they are, you don't even know if they're real or what they look like or what, you've just been told about them. What I've literally seen is you're making a contract with them. If you call on them, you've contracted with them. So unless you're very specific, I need help from the creator. That's the creator of the real, not of the false construct. I need help from the real, or for however you want to say it. Your intention has to know what you're talking about. Because if you call on anything in here, you're going to get AI. And your descriptions in the Bible, which I was raised on the Bible as well, of angels look like AI machines. The description, these wheels inside of wheels with 1,000 eyes. I mean, that's not something that I want to call on.
Yeah.
And when I have in the past, I never received any help. I think when you get saved or whatever, let's say you get in an accident and something pulls you out of the way, I kind of feel like it's something from the real, or it's something that's a real spirit, or it's a part of you, or something has happened. I don't think it's something from this matrix. And I won't go into how I've seen the fallen angels look, but I don't want to offend, I won't be offending people, but this has been a long journey. These aren't conclusions I came to just because I wanted to. And I didn't have anybody to help me. So I had to rely on me. But yeah, I know for a fact, if nothing else, you call on something, you're contracting with it. And it's another contract that they own you. They'll either own your soul, your light body, or some part of you that can keep you here, basically.
I see. If a person like did those things, like made the contracts, can they say all contracts are null and void and cancel it out?
100%.
Mm-hmm.
All contracts null and void. And the reason why, which this is that awareness, that intention that you're saying it in, is because this is an unauthorized copy of the real, of our world in the real. They've copied it. It's against our will, tricked us, pulled us in here, or whatever happened. It's still not real. But if somebody copies something of yours, you still own the copy. They broke copyright law. So if somebody puts out a pirated version of my book, I own that pirated version. If I file copyright, hey, I've got a copyright on that, then any income they made has to be paid to me. So we own this. Therefore, all contracts are null and void because you broke copyright law. This place isn't real. And it's impossible. I am a limitless. This is the closest I could get to what we are. We are an extension of Creator, and we are limitless. If I am limitless, it's absolutely impossible for you to own me, contract with me, anything else.
Control.
Now we're in a mind hypnosis where they have us believing that they did and that we did, or they just mind wipe us so we don't remember. But in all actuality, it's actually impossible for something unreal to contract with something real or to own it. And that's what we're dealing with in here, these entities and everything else. This is the unreal. It's a copy. It's a fake place. We're the only thing giving it life. And so if you say that all contracts null and void with that in your mind, and for whatever reason, say by my decree, you don't have to say that, but you can say by my decree if it feels like it's a stubborn situation. For whatever reason, when a sovereign spirit says by my decree, we just made something into law. So I don't know if that's something in the AI programming here and they can't go against it or what that is, but you've just made law.
Yeah. The system responds to those kind of things, laws.
It doesn't have any choice. It's like, and it may have tried to rearrange itself since then, but if you just no, To be grounded means you are standing firm in your authority. I cannot be moved or budged. This is it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they have no choice but to go along with what you're saying because you have remembered that you are the authority over the AI. It's not the other way around. I'm the authority over this computer, not the other way around. And once we reclaim that and shut down this game that the AI is playing, where it wants to be us and be our master, and we be its slave, where everything's inverted or the game is flipped, and they've taken a dot and made it into a seeming world of the mind. That's what this is.
Yeah, yeah.
And once you call it out, there's not a lot they can do. So, yes, null and void, not canceled, because canceled means you're recognizing there was an actual contract that needs canceling. No, there is no contract. Null and void, it doesn't exist. It's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you come from that mindset, and I don't want to guarantee, but I'm pretty positive that you'll notice differences in whatever
Right.
situation you were in.
Right, right.
So
So one of the damages that the religions did is all of them is the common thing like God is not you, but it's outside somewhere, and so you have to like expect someone else's authority, right? That's the common theme in all the religions. That was
yeah,
really hard for me to get over. No, that concept is not right. Like, yeah.
yeah, they want to be the gods. And if you happen to slip out of religion and maybe get into New Age, then they've got some traps there to catch you. And if you happen to slip out of that, they just have so many places they want to catch you, but they want to be the gods
Mm-hmm.
and they want to be worshiped. Of course, it's infinite again with AI, it just keeps expanding more, 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 more. And so we've got this infinite number of entities and beings and all kinds of things here and specific ones for where we are appearing to be. But ultimately, the whole thing is a mind program, and we're backing out of it. And as we back out of it, because we're wide awake, because
Mm-hmm.
we've done the work to wake up, right? We are going to be taking people with us. And somebody in my Patreon said it really clearly. She said, yeah, we're like the 1%. But that 1% is going to become 2%, and that's going to become 3%, and so on. It's that 300 monkey effect or the osmosis.
Yeah,
Once it's
yeah.
started, it cannot be stopped. So we have desperation going on from dark forces right now, trying to stop this from happening. We're deliberately pulling away from their transhumanism timeline back to our natural timeline. And then from there, we're going to go back out, and it's already happening. So they are possibly throwing everything at the wall to
Yeah,
get this to stop.
yeah. I think maybe like 1 or 2% of the population is real. Mm, Everyone else might be NPCs. I think. I don't think,
Um,
yeah, much of
I
us
haven't
are
read on
real.
it in a while.
Yeah.
I know I got 30% was real for a while, and it would go up and down a little bit, but somewhere around there. And I'm wondering if that's some kind of programmed balance in here, this 70-30 thing. But some of that 30 has to stay asleep. So just because somebody might be clueless to what's going on doesn't mean they don't have a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and some of the people are reading as NPCs because they've been separated from their soul through the use of pharmacology. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to shouldn't get into that. Um, Pharmacology is good. I'm going to put this on YouTube, but the splitting off of the light body from the soul and all these attempts to keep us here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
I'm gonna shut up because I don't want to go into that topic and get you flagged or something.
Oh no, it's
So
all right. I think. Yeah, I have one question about the drugs people use during after body experiences. Like, even if it's not salmon experience, the people are still like using cannabis and something like that. Do you, but the thing about cannabis is people will always come back and say cannabis is natural, and so it is safe to do that. So how do you see all that?
Well, I kind of came across that by accident where things, I used to walk around very, very tuned in because I wasn't dealing with as much stuff as I am now. But things would just spontaneously come through. And this one person, he was a yoga instructor, ate clean, everything. And I said, and he kept pulling out his low back on the right side. And I said, it's because you got a demon attached there from doing marijuana. It opened up a portal. And I didn't even know he smoked marijuana. And then I was like, what did I say? And then he's like, how'd you know I smoked marijuana? I said, I didn't. And then I kept seeing that. And the thing I noticed with people that have done it for a long time, again, they do that loop thing. They're caught up in, let's say, for example, somebody's looking into the truth. They're smoking marijuana all the time. They get into Atlantis material. 30 years later, they're still into Atlantis material. They haven't like it. That would be a poor example, but something like that.
I see.
And here's what I think lately. So I did write in the book about some of those experiences and how it opens portals, how it can keep you stuck in some kind of loop. There's probably ways around that. But what I notice with people that smoke marijuana is they constantly defend it. And their posts will be all about that. So it's almost like it's this obsession, or they get consumed with it. And they're not concerned about anything else going on out there other than, are you going to pass a marijuana law? Are you going? And so that to me is not a good sign. It could be you have something attached to you that is keeping that loop going and wanting you to keep thinking about it and keep smoking. So the entity can get high. But I think lately, and I did, I don't think I have the book here, but I did talk to the marijuana plant. What it told me is it was brought here, but it wants to be for good. But it does have some things that can cause problems for us.
It can be used as a medical
It
oil.
wants to, yeah, it wants to be used for good. But it's under control and contracts also. I mean, everything in here is contracted. And that's why we're here to break contracts, or not break them, null and void the contracts. But I kind of feel like as we're moving away in this split, there might be less of an effect from the marijuana, like negatively. I'll have to read on that again, but I think I got something on that recently where I did read on it again. And people think I'm judging them or whatever, but I just remember even as a young child, I knew do not do drugs. It was just like, don't do drugs. I felt like it was, you are not going to get your mission done. You will not make it through this life. You will not, I mean, it was crucial. Hurry up, figure it out. And if I came in as a targeted individual, which I know now, that makes total sense. Like, you got to figure this out fast. You're clueless, you're mind wiped, but all I knew was I got to figure it out. Do not touch drugs. I really didn't have any interest in drinking. And so it was kind of like I was still not legal. And a doctor put me on a medical drug that screwed me up.
Oh.
And I'm suffering from the effects of that to today. So it's kind of like they got me anyway with a drug.
Yeah,
a legal one, but
of teenagers are like using the, what is it called, antidepressant
recreational,
drugs.
But some horrible stuff. Yeah, there's horrible stuff out there. I just remember my dad saying about 30 years ago, he was saying, I don't know how much I should say because of YouTube, but there was a particular president that begins with a C, and he was letting all the drug dealers out of prisons and the drug cartels and stuff like that. And my dad said, drugs are going to be the downfall of this country. They're going to ruin the country. and they're just pouring in. Of course, that's what the 60s were all about. The 60s was the uprising. Hey, we don't want to do this anymore. We don't want to be under your rule. We don't want to be forced to go to wars. And what did they do? Give them a bunch of drugs, free sex, free love, and peace, and so they all calmed down. They were on drugs all the time and having unprotected sex all over the place, like sexual deviancy, because that's what they want here. They want sexual deviancy, the split of the nuclear family, which started even before that. So this has been like this agenda rolling out as a form of control. Why? Because we're stronger together. We are stronger than anything here. So drug them up, brainwash them that they're weak, all these things, split them up, split the marriage up, tell the women, you don't want to have kids. I don't need no man. That's what they say now. You don't need a man. You can do all this. You don't need to have kids. Why would you bring kids into this place? Well, because there are souls that have passed away. They've put their body aside. They need to be able to reincarnate back into another body so they can get exposed to the truth that we are holding here currently so that they can get out. So let a soul come through, have a child. I understand, like, you're going to have an NPC or something like that, but
it's a possibility.
And it's okay not to have kids. I didn't have any because of that medical drug I took. Screwed up so much stuff. So, but that was okay because that wasn't my mission. I think I've had kids in I don't know how many past lives. I had to hurry up, get to the truth. So, everybody's got their own reason they're here. Don't forget why you're here. Even if it's just a feeling, you can't quite remember it. You came here to finish a job, get it done. Don't let them push you out of here before your time. Don't let them talk you with their mind programs into stuff. Stay in control of your mind, of you, and as much as you possibly can. So, and don't beat yourself up. Well, I did some drugs, or I did this, or I did that. It's okay. We're all coping the best we can. Just keep striving towards that goal. How can I become more into my authority? How can I work more on my fears? How can I protect myself better? What do I need to work on so that I don't need this drug to escape? Because, and for some people, it's very hard. They're not able to handle stuff. There's things that I can't handle that you might feel like, oh, that's no big deal. What's the problem? But we're each programmed with this, the most horrible thing that can happen to you, and they'll do it to you. So, but to another person, it's not a big deal, but they've got something else that I would think no big deal. So I think stay in control of your mind, yourself, your energy as much as possible. And when you need help, ask for help, but be very discerning about that help. There's a million people out there to screw you up worse.
I see.
That sounds really negative, but it's true. I've already been through this. So use your intuition. Is this the right person? Look in their eyes. Are they is there a soul in there, or is this just an NPC? It's in the eyes.
Okay. So, can I explain the last part? How do we look, check if they are real or NPC with the eyes?
Or an NPC? Usually you will know this person typically causes trauma of some sort, or they come in at key moments to set, like the person that convinced me to go to that doctor and get that drug, total NPC. Very obvious are the people that are causing you trauma. I'm not deliberately causing anybody trauma. I'm a spirit. I have a heart. I have the real love, the real purity that all of us have, even though they told us we're bad and they put the bad thoughts in our head, like they're your own thoughts or something. So, I'm getting off track again. To tell an NPC they're causing trauma, you get some kind of bad feeling about them. Sometimes the hands will look wrong to you, or the eyes, Um, you just have to analyze it. Are you getting a gut feeling on it? If you can read on it. Um, and even your body can tell you, but the more obvious ones are, yeah, like if somebody's possessed, I don't think you're going to have any
Mm-hmm.
any question that they're possessed. But some people can be partially possessed where they're fighting for their soul, and you will see the qualities of a soul, and then they might flip over when the entity's trying to work through them. But yeah, I think it's an individual case by case basis. I think I did write a list of things to look for, but it was just full possession and partial possession. But um we're coming back again to use your intuition, your gut feeling, the twinge, or maybe something pops in your mind and you're like, or you just know,
Mm-hmm.
something's not right.
I see. I see. Mm-hmm.
But the obvious ones are, yeah, they're causing you trauma and they have a character flaw like psychopath. So we can have issues like, okay, I'm a neat freak. Okay, I'm not, but I'm a neat freak. That's an issue. A psychopath is a character flaw. A narcissist is a character flaw. A there's these types of it's a flaw in
Mm-hmm.
their character that can't be remedied. They're probably not a soul or a spirit.
I see. I see.
So
So you mentioned there are like that one yoga person had a entity attached to him, right?
yeah,
So how to remove that in case someone like has these parasitic entities attached?
one of the things, well, you have to get into your authority and know that you're the authority. Well, one of the things you could do is you can, if it is attached in, you can run your hands and see if you sense any portals or anything, and then you're just going to refuse. You're gonna have to learn to listen to your soul memory, your spirit, and it will tell you what to do in that moment. But you got to get firm, and you got to be a warrior, and you're going to war, and by God, absolutely not. So, and you might need to clear your space, or the people around you might be bringing those in.
Mm.
Let's say you're not really doing anything, but you've got an attachment. It can come through somebody.
Somebody
Oh
else.
my God,
Yeah.
there's so much going on. So you just really learn to listen to yourself, and you will know what to do to get rid of it.
What we can expect after death. That's an important topic, I think. Let's do that as a last question.
So what I've seen since 2024, maybe, is that I call these virtuals or screens, these overlays.
Mm-hmm.
We are moving back through these to the original copy of
Mm-hmm.
something that was real, that was not in a um, false construct. And that copy is very close to the original because it's actually almost a mirror of it. But it's not real, but it's as close as you can get. And we are moving back to that while we are alive, which kind of reminds me of the ascension thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then somehow that got inserted as ascending to 5D. I'm not going to anything that has the word dimension with it or a number because all of that is part of a false construct. Dimensions are divisions like steps, and whenever anything's divided, it's part of a false construct,
Mm-hmm.
and numbered part of a construct. We're trying to go back to the limitless, and so I do think this is already happening. Like I was talking about that 1% becoming 2%, as we are changing our perception by uncovering truth, our perception of what's out there changes. And this is actually leading us back to that origin point. And if you die in the interim,
Mm-hmm.
what I have said is keep it in fresh in your mind. I'm going back to myself. Nothing has permission to hold me here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going back to myself. That's it. I'm going back to me. I don't think there's anywhere else to go. And what I've seen is you will go to your spirit that's in the soul body. It will wake up from the hypnosis and it will remember the way out. Um, if you have an NDE, you're going to spontaneously, not always, but you're going to spontaneously end up in that tunnel of light because that was the way in, but they have now booby trapped it. And your consciousness is going to spontaneously go there because it remembers how it came in. But if you try to go that way, you get met with the angel or the being or whatever. Oh no, you got to go back. But if you do get past all that and you get past the fake relatives, there's all kinds of booby traps. So I don't suggest going that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think when people are ready to die, they're seeing the tunnel of light. That's an NDE. When they are ready to die, they're seeing loved ones coming to get them, or the soul collector. There's an angel here to get me. Jesus is here to get me. My dad said that his spirit guide Tony's here to get him. They're sending in soul collectors.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you say, no, I'm going back to me, the system can't do anything about that. And you are out of here. So if for some reason you do get recycled back in, that is why the spirits came. They came to, there's a lot of them here. We keep having these resets,
Mm-hmm.
and people, souls or spirits get stuck in a reset. They don't remember far enough, and then they get recycled back in, starts all over. And what happens is they get disconnected from their soul body.
Okay.
And so that's why they can't remember, because that's where all the true Akashic records is in your spirit, your soul memory. And that's the whole point. So that's kind of even in the Gnostic material from what somebody was showing me of that, something kind of similar. So there's people that have been disconnected and they will know the truth when they hear it, but they just can't access it. And then there's those that did get out that have come back to help those that are stuck and to also get pieces of themselves, maybe that got left here. And so we, the awake ones, what I've seen is that we have awakened way beyond what we ever have before. And they can't stop us anymore. So we're holding that truth here. It's kind of like a doorway out. So if somebody has to recycle back in, they will get exposed to that truth and get out. And I feel like we're holding that. I was getting 200 years, but then I got it's happening a lot quicker, 150. Now I haven't read on it since then, but I felt like the quickest it could happen was 75 years. So this door is staying open and everybody's out. And this is while we're still alive. So that's what I saw. But if you do die in the interim, my suggestion would be to say, I'm going back to me. I'm going back to myself.
Mm-hmm.
I would not go to a void. Do you want to be in a void? I mean, the suggestions that are out there, I'm just like, there's no way I would do that with what I've seen in my work. So anyway, I don't know if that helps, but that's where I've gotten to. And I've tried other ways, and I've tried gates, and I've tried to do this, and I've tried to do that. And it was just interesting. The gates are closed. So you go back to your spirit remembers. There's nothing they can do when you're fully awake, know who you are, and know your own power. There's nothing they can do to keep you here. So
is there like
so that's why they're trying to make you forget.
Okay, is there like a time limit that we have to like spend it here before exiting?
I think people are talking about a timeline split going on. I think that's happening. And as we move further away from that, we're starting this process. And the way that we will know that we are moving is the outer world will change for the better over time. So we might have to go through a period where it gets even more chaotic than it is now, or more scary or whatever, because of all that distraction out there that I was talking about, and all those contradicting opinions and all the noise. And it's going to create chaos where if we would join together and quit dividing ourselves, we could do this a lot quicker. But so we might have to go through a little rough period. And then I see that life becomes easier. And when it does, you know that we are moving.
Mhm.
We've already been moving.
Okay.
And
Like,
the true ascension, I think, is to go back to you when you remember where you are in the real, where you really are. You're not really here. And that's true ascension, is returning to yourself. So that's what I would suggest. That's as far as I got with it. And it seems to stay consistent. But anyway.
but how do I know like a good energy is helping me with this?
Okay, you don't allow anything else. If the answers start to get wonky or weird or contradicting, you know something's trying to interfere. So I would switch decks, or I would make sure you clear the deck, clear the space. You're going to have to insist on your energy, and also grid yourself with stones or whatever you want to grid yourself with before you do it. You can even do things where you have the deck tell you yes or no if there's interference. But I would only ask that if it's feeling off or you're getting answers that are not consistent, then you know something's up. So
I see, I see. Where can people find your books?
they're anywhere, Amazon, any of the major retailers. The best way to support me, though, I really don't make much from books. I mean, nonfiction, you don't really make much. The best way to support me is go to my website, anmarieuber.com, and book a service, or join Patreon or Ko-fi and support me there. And I give a lot of, like I was saying, information that that is not out there. It's just for patrons. So
I
that'd be
see.
the best way to support me.
Okay, I'll pin all the links in the description and comment section. Right. Okay. Okay, guys. Bye for
All
now.
right. Thank you. Thanks to your listeners. Just
Okay.
remember who you are. Bring the love through. We're in this together. We're stronger together. That's it.
Yes.
We're the authority.